Alright, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin this review, I just want to give you all a quick update of the season pass since most people want me to review the Bombat. I am very close now, so you will be expecting that review very, very shortly. Hopefully, if Wargaming gives me new challenges tomorrow that are easy, I would be able to play it a little bit and then probably do a review on it near this end of the week, hopefully. But for now, we're going to talk about today the other free tank you get. The T-54 first prototype, which is literally, I had this tank for a long time, and you're probably saying to yourself, well, how are you reviewing it if you're not 100%? Well, I've been playing such a long time, I have the tank. They did give it out to free one time before all this. So, figured to fit with Cobra, since they have a skin for it, I'm going to review this tank. And yes, also, this is also going to cover the Motherland, because Motherland and T-54 Mod 1 are technically the same tanks. The only difference is this has a permanent camouflage skin, where the T-54 Mod 1 has, you can put any skin you want on it, where in this case, Cobra skin. So, let's get started with this, because there is a lot to talk about this, and there's also a lot of problems with this tank. For me as a veteran, this was a hard tank to play, and I will talk more of it when we get to the battlefield. But for first and foremost, let's talk about one of the major problems I have with this tank: armaments. And as you can look on the screen, yeah, the armaments, you should say armaments? What armaments? This tank is so weak. There is no armaments. Now, don't get me wrong. I know what you're all saying. Well, Fury, I know that could be a problem, but tanks like the CDC has no armaments, and people play that just fine. I get that, people. But we'll get talking about the other stuff in just a minute. That the reason why I have a pet peeve more with this tank than the CDC, or CDC Black. I get what your guys are saying. So the strongest part of your tank is 200 millimeters, and that's directly to the gun mantlet. This is a huge problem because 200 millimeters is crap compared to any other tier A. You're probably thinking to yourself, 200 millimeters, Fury, that's a lot of millimeters. I mean, that should not be that bad in your case. No, it's not. Compared to the rest of the tank, it's not bad. However, 200 millimeters, you could get pinned by an 88. And I'm not talking about any standard 88. I'm talking about tier 7 Tiger 88. No. I take that back. Not just a Tiger in the tech tree with a long barrel. I'm talking about Tiger 131 smaller caliber 88 penning through this with premium. Now, you're probably wondering, well, yeah, he has to spam premium. Stand arounds, he really can't do it easily. But that's not the point. That's how weak that head turret is. Like, if it's a smaller caliber 88 of a Tiger 131's pen, can pen through the head straight forward to the tank, what choice do you have, or what chance do you have against VK 100 or anything like that? Now, I get it. Now, you're all saying in the comments saying, like, Fury, I know this Motherland a little bit, and it's like, you're not supposed to toe-to-toe with them. I get it again, people, and I understand that. But at the same time, though, there are some games you're forced to do it, and you all know where I'm getting at. There is a lot of games where you forcibly have to brawl because either Himmelsdorf, your team, is like being turbo, an F, and all this other stuff that it's forcing you to play front lines, and it gets you killed so many times. Now, I know this tank pretty well, and I not recommend you to brawl ever in this tank, but even not brawling, you still could get killed by it, and I'll talk more about it in a minute, too. So that's the strongest part of the tank. You have like 60 millimeters right underneath the gun mantlet, so honestly, I don't know why that's there, because 160 millimeter, is it welded to the tank? Oh, sorry guys, I'm just trying to zoom into the tank. There we go. Yeah, it's welded to the tank, so the upper gun mantlet is 160, but although most people just pen the side cheeks of the frontal part, like, see that part that's green, left or right, is usually what people pen through this tank, especially in a Tiger tank. So that sucks. The side cheeks are 150. Now, looking at it straight on, you have like a good chance of blocking, and I do have a video clip to show one of the tier 10s blocking that shot with the Waffen trigger off to 100. You have a good chance of blocking as long as you're looking at the target, but if you don't hit directly in the center and hit the side cheeks, yeah, it's going to ricochet, especially if it's looking like this. It's like a very good slope angle round tank. However, though, you could pen it if you get a little bit on the side, but how sloped that is, chances are you're better chance of hitting the gun mantlet. Now, the whole armor and the side cheeks, obviously, everything on the side of the tank is just bad. So just never have your tank on the side. Just don't. But the frontal part of the tank is 120 millimeters. That's really, really a problem. Unless you're angling it slightly, tier 6s can pen that. If you could angle it like this, you could get away with easy 8s ricocheting off you, but if you're directly like this and a tier 6 is aiming at you, it's going through. This is just embarrassing armor. Really embarrassing. And like I said, we'll get to in a minute why this is such a huge, huge problem to me for the armaments. But it's just pathetic. And I get it. Type 59s, Type T55s, and all that were designed to be like that. They were designed to do other things. But it's just, to me, as a tank, especially me playing War Thunder. I know this game is not exactly War Thunder, but Type 59s in that game and T55s and T54s were terrifying because of the slope angle on them. This doesn't count in this game. Even if it's like a 45-degree slope, it is still going to get penned through by a tier 6, and that's sad. Really, really, really sad. And then you've got 90 millimeters on the side. Again, like I said, do not let the enemy shoot your side, otherwise you're just exposing so much. The back turret, 75. Again, don't let them see your back. That's all I could say if every armor is in the front. Now, this is weird because the thing that makes the gun go up and down, which also jams your gun, is 60 millimeters. So, chances are don't get hit at the very peak of it because then your gun's going to get locked in and stuff like that. You know, basically a turret ring kind of way. Your rear end is only 45 millimeters. The main gun is only 40 millimeters. The top part of your roof is 35, and again, that's going to be a big problem when we get to that part, because also the main top of your turret, where everything is 30 millimeters. Tracks are only 20 millimeters, and your back end is only 15. Okay, whew. Try to get that out of the way as quickly as possible. So you're probably wondering now, you're saying to me, Fury, okay, we know the armaments are bad. So tell us, why are you having such a big pet peeve over this compared to the CDC that is a huge light tank that can snipe? And that's your biggest problem right there with this tank. Sniping is your only ally. And you're probably scratching your head saying, then what's your dissing it so much? You gotta think one thing before any tank veteran would tell you this. You're comparing a French CDC that has spotting to a Soviet that can't see out of its own freaking viewport a broadside of a barn. Yes, you heard me correctly. This thing barely can't see no one if we don't have a good crew. It is literally a tank that you have to physically see down the road 350 millimeters. 360 meters away from the tank. That is, for those of you who don't know, that's like 4 grids. But they could see you almost 5 or 6 grids, even sitting still. It's that bad. Now you're probably wondering, okay, so they could see you, Fury. Okay, I could still snipe without being spotted. Here's another problem, and we'll get to it. You got a 100 mil gun. Yes, 100 mil. Now, for those of you who don't know, in the Soviet Union in this game, their traditional guns for a stock version of their T-54s and T-55s are always 100 mils. You all know this from War Thunder or if you actually look up tanks really in real life, 100 mils were their first ever guns they put on T-54s until they put later models in. However, unlike War Thunder, where they were good at sniping and good at hold downs, this has a horrible aim time. The ridiculed aim for this tank is so freaking long. It is hard to sit there and aim if you're detected. So, let me recap really quick. Just really quick, audience. Mind you, keep in mind, this is just the tank I'm talking about. I'm not talking about putting the crews in yet to make it better and stuff. I'm talking about the tank as a whole. No equipment, no nothing. You got a tank that has not good concealment, because it's a good medium big boy here. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look big compared to, Super Persian and stuff like that, but still, it's a pretty big boy. So you have hardly no concealments. You have no good armaments, unless they hit the side cheeks of your T-54 Mod 1. You don't have aim time. Do you hear the formula how bad this is, audience? Aim time sluggish, no armaments, no concealment. Compared to the CDC, like I said, that I like to reference a lot because it's one of the light tanks that kind of got it right, is the fucking aim time. If you got no armaments whatsoever, like this tank is like barely has any armor, because I know 200 millimeters for the head, all of you are going to type on the thing, but remember, Tiger 131's premium rounds can pen right through it. Any Tiger can pen right through that. Think about that. An 88, mind you, not 105, not 1205, 88s can pen through this. You see the problem I get with this tank? It's horrible at surviving any encounter whatsoever. And the way you have to avoid people left and right is like you literally have to wiggle your tank and try doing that with an awful aim time while you're shooting people far away to give them a less chance to hit you. And they nerfed it so much. And it's just fucking... I remember back in the day they didn't have a lot of shells. That was the problem. If anyone here's a veteran, I'm just sorry. I know I'm trying to get as quickly with the review so that way you guys can know the gist. But does anyone here a veteran here? Do you all remember when the Motherland used to carry less rounds, but it was a decent sniper? Yeah, they took that away, give you more ammunition, less pen, and then just, like, reduce the armor after that, and then they made it fucking... I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I really am. I know I'm dragging it on, but it's like I did with the cat video, but this is a huge problem. And this is a free tank, mind you, that you're getting at the end if you don't buy the season pass. This tank needs a lot of work. A lot of work between concealment, aim time, and freaking just everything. It needs everything. Okay. But before I tell you what I usually put in it, I'll tell you the ammunition cost. I wouldn't have a problem with it, the fact that it's extremely cheap. 200, for normal rounds, 252. So, not bad. And I carry 22 rounds. So I can make my money. However, this is the one you're going to be spamming a lot because, again, you go into fucking tier 10s with this. Now you see kind of my frustration between no armaments, horrible aim time a little bit, get spotted easily, no viewing range, and you going up against 10s. Figure that one out, audience. So, I carry 22 rounds of this APCR. It's 4,400, cheaper than the cat video that I've done. In high explosives, I know everybody's going to tell me, why the hell do you keep carrying high explosives? Well, there are some light tanks that are very weak, so 252, I carry just 12. You don't have to carry that many. You can reduce, keep it equal between the normal rounds and your premium rounds. You can do that. But to me, I like to keep 12, for arties, for light tanks that needs to be extremely defeated immediately, that are really weak. Because you got 50 millimeters of penetration. Most light tanks usually have 40. So that's up to you if you want that. That's just my thing. I like to keep one of every round. Alright, so the consumables, same traditional med kit, fire extinguisher, and group. Now, equipment. This is the one everybody's going to tell me in the comments, because honestly, there is so much that needs to be fixed, especially for a beginner, for people that don't have this tank. Alright, so I put on here crew performance plus that, aiming time, reloading time, -10. I always put them on there because, again, you have no idea how many times that could save your life, having a quick reload. Now, I accidentally put on shell accuracy for this review and plus showing it, but I should have just gotten aim time. Like shell aim time speed or something like that. Because honestly, as much as I want accuracy, because I really do, because I turned this into a sniper tank, I had another crew in here that was decent. Forgot to change the equipment pieces, and aim time was just bad. But then again, like I said, maybe people want more accuracy if they got a good crew. So my advice, if you got a good crew, these three first. Crew performance, reloading time, and definitely the aim speed. You want that aim speed. I know you probably want concealment or advanced binoculars. Trust me, I do too, because especially how horrible it is to detect enemies with this. Even if your allies detected them, you've got only a certain range to see them, but they force you to play sniper tank. So you could treat that. You could pick armaments to reduce the damage. That's another one you can do. You see the problem here, audience? There is so much to fucking fix on this tank. Not only do you have to forcibly play this as a sniper tank, but you have to fix every nerf that this tank got when the developers last time saw this tank. It's literally, you forcibly have to fix their problems, and it's such a pain in my rear end when it comes to this stuff. So, yeah, you could basically have concealment. If you sit still, you can have binoculars, aim better, and armaments. Don't pick like accuracy yet, because again, I picked the wrong crew because I got Cobra in here because, Cobra tank. I had a crew in here with 5 perks, so that was my fault. But again, it shows for a beginner that wanted to put a Cobra tank in with a skin. So it's fair to play out like this as a new player. So, whew. Alright, now, your commander. Now, obviously, I put Cobra in there. Originally, I had another guy that had 4 perks, but I started off with Cobra. Now, this is where you have to sacrifice so much perks in this game, because there is a lot you need for perks. It's like, what are you going to turn this tank into? Because, yes, it can flank. It can't be a brawler. Don't ever go to the front lines with it. It's not a brawler. So either you could turn it into a sniper, like I'm trying to do right now to turn into perks, like, make the turning more accurate, the shell accuracy, the better penetration for 20% more effectively from far away distance, so on and so forth. But except for I got 6 cents because, how this is arcade now, unlike the cat video where I talked about you don't need it since it's Cold War and you see them 90% of the time. Here you need 6 cents. It's a must, especially when you're going against tier freaking 10s with this tank. It's best to be alerted at all times. I mean, There is so many ways you could do this to change the tank. Obviously, reloading is the next perk I'm going to do. It's your three things: is Brotherhood of Arms and reloading, because you want that 100 mil to at least have a decent speed of penning people and shooting. You don't want it to be like, you know, reduce lowness of speed and everything else. So you could do that. You can have armament perks. You know, you can have like where is that perk? Hang on, where is it? Am I blind? Oh, there it is. I was just blind, audience. Sorry. You can have the armament perks to reduce 5 damage for incoming shots. You could do that because there is no really concealment on this. So you're going to have to use the armament perk. I mean, yes, granted, you could slightly make it better by getting every concealment perk like muffle shot, green thumb, all these concealment perks, but at the same time though, that is, you only got 9 perk slots, making it insanely hard to make it hidden. And it's such disappointment wargaming that I have to fix this tank and I have to forcibly choose what perks to get on this tank. And the first ones I picked is Sixth Sense and Brotherhood of Arms. That's the only perks I picked in the beginning for this. So, sorry about all that. Let's get to the battlefield so I can show you this replay of how many times I had to do this. Okay, folks, here we are in the battlefield. We are in a tier 10 game in this replay. I lost all will to talk about this tank. You have no idea how many times I have to play this tank today just to show a decent video. And you're probably going to say 15, 30, try 100. I played this tank 100 times today to try to show a good thing. And the problem is, like I said in all the other parts of this, armaments suck. Aim time, just atrocious. And it's just so hard to keep this tank alive, it's not even funny. And I don't understand why Wargaming can't give me back the benefits of what it used to have. This is fucking stupid. Now, here I am trying to aim over the balcony because I've seen that medium I'm aiming in, but I didn't see this T-32 that was just pushing me in the way, and it's like, really, buddy? Come on. So, even though we're in a tier 10 game, I still strongly disagree that this should be in a tier 10 game because of how bad the armaments are, how bad the gun is. I have to forcibly load APCR in this game, so I have 22 rounds of APCR. I did that because I was scared to see what tier 10. Now, don't get me wrong, it can pen some tier 10s, but I'm too squishy. I'm too weak. I'm basically a light tank in this game. I can't take a hit no matter what. So here we are. I'm trying to get up the hill, trying to get around, trying to corner flank all these team over here, and all of them are like 8s, 10, 1s of 10, and all that, AMX 50B. And it's like, So I'm seeing these guys sniping on this side of the hill, so I'm trying to push over here to this side of the hill. And what you're about to see real quick is also, I don't understand what's happening. See that Waffen trigger off D100? I fired at it. I had a ghost shell. It went through the tank. I know all of you had that experience before, but watch again. It did it again. It was kept on ghost shelling through the tank. And that time I finally fucking hit it, but it was like, what the hell is going on? Wargaming, I swear to God, fix your goddamn ghost shells. This is fucking stupid. So here I am trying to snipe. I wasted an opportunity to pen 3 times to the Waffen trigger off the E100, which just saddens me. Then I see the Lion tank over there hold down. I'm like, oh God, there's no way I'm going to pen that. And that's basically how you play this tank. You don't play aggressive, and you don't play like you're a badass, no matter what tier you're in. Even if you're in your own tier, audience, you cannot play aggressive. You have to play a support sniper. It's not designed to do anything but that. Yes, you could be a flanker, but because of how weak the armaments is, especially when a Tiger can pen your turret, Your best chances is to stay as far back as possible like I'm doing, trying to use your concealment, trying to use hill environments just to keep you not getting hit. So I hit the side of the lion tank, and that was a good chunk of his health right there. And then I'm seeing like another tank over here, the uh, CS63. I think that's Polish. I don't know what this guy was doing. I was shooting him, peppering him with so many rounds because he was just staying there, not moving an inch. And I'm like, okay, free damage. And that's probably the reason why I got a lot of damage because I'm just sitting here peppering away on this guy. And I don't usually mind this tank, but it's just, you have to think. It's like you got an almost inaccurate gun, turret armor weak enough to get penned by a tiger. It's like what are you supposed to do? You just have to trick them. Now the Waffen trigger off to 100 is right there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to use the mountain. For those of you who don't know, I'll just pause it real quick. So the Waffen trigger off to 100 is right there. So I'm shooting, obviously, his strong structure, and apparently he had a mark. But where he's aiming at, see, like I'm using the environment against him because all he can see is my commander's hatch slightly. So I'm trying to use, as much as I hate the Soviets' gun depression on this, unless you're completely broadside, I'm trying to use it as an advantage against the enemy tank. So I apologize like that. I was just going to show you that before. Oh, oh, hang on. Stop. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. See, like, right there, he tries to shoot me, and then it ricocheted because, again, those side cheeks can block shells if you hit precisely the side of it. And then he fired all his rounds and missed every single one of them, so I feel so bad for him. But unfortunately, though, we were losing, and there was no way to win. So I said, F it, that guy's reloading. I'm just going to go kill the Waffle Trigger E100 because there is no getting around this. We lost the game. So I'm just going to just say, frigate, charge. And so I'm charging on this poor Waffen Trigger off to E100 while he's reloading. I shot him, tracked him, so he's stuck where he is, but I think he fixed it. No, he didn't. He didn't fix it, and then basically, bam, killed it. And then I see Artie over there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a couple of shots on him. Fire away. And thankfully, Artie missed, because holy crap, that was close. So I'm like here just like trying to pepper him. We low rolled him again. And then of course here comes the freaking leopards coming in and try to kill in, and I got killed by the T60 on the hill. I know this was a bad game to show off it, but believe me when I say between 100 games, this was the only game that was decent enough to show. And I will show you the reward paper and stuff like that once we get back to the garage. Now then, here's the reward. Now, despite the fact that I was loading premium, I get it. Like I said in the cat video, I didn't want to fire premium. I really did not want it to fire premium, but I had no choice. Because again, if there was a heavy tier 10 over there, I had to have enough pen to pen it because of how terrifying it could be. So I made 45,000 despite the fact of that. I would have made more if it was my standard rounds. But however, I think it balances out from killing 2 tanks and pretty much did 3,267 damage, which is more better than I've done any other thing. Didn't block nothing, didn't get swift nothing, and got 14 hits. So not bad. And in case if you're wondering where I am on the top of the leaderboard. Pretty much, that's pretty sad right there too, audience. I was in a tier 10 game. Think about this. A gun that can't barely pen 10s is on top of the leaderboard over the IS-7, over the Type 4 Heavy, over the other tanks. Your guess is as good as mine. So let's go back to the garage for the final verdict for this. Okay, audience. So how do I rate this tank? This one's going to be diverse for so many of my community in World of Tanks reviews. I know that a lot of people have memories of the tank, especially when I'm basically reviewing this as the Motherland itself, too. They're both the same. So take it from a grain of salt that this is literally the Motherland review and this Cobra skin T51 Mod 1, the same thing. So, how do I rate this? Well, let's go back and say all this. Has 100 mil. Has slow aim time. Slow aim time. It has no good armaments. It literally can't take a hit from even a Tiger tank, and that's saying pretty bad right there. I barely could have done anything in a lot of games. Even in my own games, I tried things like that. People try to think that I can spot. I can't. There's no spotting easily in this tank unless you can max out the perks. This tank needs a lot of work. And I mean a lot of fucking work. And I'm doing that as a pawn phase because literally, like I said, I almost got my commander a new skill perk. Like literally, that's how much XP I'm slowly getting towards that commander. And it's like, oh my god, it's like, this is fucking insane. I know I should have had an officer with more perks, but remember, this is for people that just unlocked it for the season pass for 100 when it's free. So, how do you rate something that's free? You could get this for free by going to 100%. So how do you rate this as a free tank when it has so many problems? So many problems with it. And not to mention, it plays up against tier 10s, audience. I don't understand wargaming saying that tanks, without having a howitzer gun or something, can go up against 2 tiers higher. This is 100 mil, for fuck's sake, wargaming. 100 mil! There's fucking... So, this is going to be hard for me to rate this. Because I know it can do something. I know it can. I've seen people do it. I know people can take this tank and do okay with it. That's fine. So, how do I rate this? If you get it for free, okay, let's say it this way. If you got it for free, like the Motherland or the T51 in the season pass, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Slightly above the average liking of this. If you had to buy this tank with gold, I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Because this tank gets killed so many times in battle. And you could say all you want, but that's fair when you have to pay with your own wallet to get it. When you had so many chances between the Motherland that came out a long time ago and this season pass right now to get this tank you're looking at right now plus the skin, you have no excuse to not to get this for free unless you didn't complete the season pass. But paying, if you had to pay for it after this video, I would be so upset if people had to pay this because it's such a mediocre tank, and it's I don't know how else to say it. Even people ask me, how do you play this tank? And I said to them all the time, snipe, 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 snipe. You ain't gonna survive frontal assault. You ain't got the armaments to block even a fucking tier 7 or 6 if it has a good decent pen. It's just I don't know. I really don't know. It really upsets me that this is literally a thing that they will never fix in World of Tanks. Unless you lovely community can convince Wargaming to give this tank a major update, it's going to be forever like this. It's only you people that decide the factor of these tanks. It's only you people that has a voice that could change any tank you get. Or either nerf, buff, or whatever, but it's just sad that the Motherland and the T-54 are only stuck in the past of tanks that used to have been really good. I'm Fist of Fury 69-2. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you comrades in the next tank review. Bye, guys.